Hello, high flyers, and welcome to the part two of our introduction to Google Analytics. And once again, this is your instructor, Kehinde Oyeronke Oshoba, principal trainer in Toda Digital Academy. So we had a part one of this lecture, and I believe that you are taking your time to go through the part one of the lecture while we were talking about why we need Google Analytics as a tool that helps us to track website performance and traffic sources. And in our part one, we took a time to explain how to understand where our traffic is coming from. And we examined our organic search traffic, which is the traffic that comes from what people are typing into the search engines. And don't forget, this training is SEO content writing. So we are merging SEO with our content writing. And so it will be a good thing for you to go through the part one of this introduction to Google Analytics, while we'll take our time to go on into the part two. And in this part two, we are going to be talking about how to identify top performing pages in our website, our blog posts, and all of that. And why do we need to identify top performing pages? Number one is because we'll be able to maximize traffic opportunities. I mean, these pages already attract a significant audience. So if we can identify them, then we can work more on it, we can enhance it, we can update those pages, we can capitalize on their potential to bring in even more traffic to our website, okay? Also, identifying top performing pages help us to understand the user behavior, okay? What pages, what makes this pages successful? So we will be able to check, is it the, maybe it's our content, is it our design, is it our well-targeted keywords, okay? So these, identifying these pages help us to understand user behavior. Also, for those who are in, they want your website, you want to have more sales, leads, and there may be other goals. Not all websites want to sell things. So you will be able to optimize for conversions if this is what your site is about. Then understanding or identifying these top performing pages help us to replicate success. I mean, these pages are working already, so we can replicate them. We can check what we did well and do it again. Okay, is it our SEO strategy, is it our layout, is it our topic relevance? Then we can do it again. Okay, and if they are not performing well, we can then know what is the reason why they are not performing well. Okay, then we can refresh with the content refresh opportunities. We can keep these pages relevant by regularly updating the information, improving the readability, and adding new visuals, because we know that people are looking for these pages. So we keep on refreshing those opportunities. Then it will also help us to focus resources effectively instead of spreading efforts. Then we invest more resources in improving and promoting these pages that are already having results, okay? Another reason why we should, identify these top performing pages is that it will help us to strengthen our internal linking, from page to page inside our website, linking from page to page, from one maybe call to action to another page and all of that, okay? So we use these high performing pages to direct traffic to other important pages on our website, improving our overall SEO and user experience. Okay, we also improve the click-through rate. We're going to be talking about that in a moment. So when we see these pages, we know whether to optimize the meta titles, the descriptions, or the feature snippet for these pages to boost the click-through rates from the search engine. All right, so how do we identify these top performing pages? Just a moment. All right. So how do we identify the top performing pages in Google Analytics 4? We're going to go to our Google Analytics once again, and then we go to reports, engagement, page, and screens, and then we'll see what we are trying to achieve. Right? Once again, this is our Google Analytics page. Don't forget, you can always change the dates of what you are looking for. If you want a month, 2 months, you want to customize it, don't forget you can do it from here. All you need to do is type in or click, okay? Let's assume I want to start from October 21, and all I need to do is either click 21 and then it will change and all of that, okay? But I want to retain what we have there from October 28, 2024 to January 10, 2025. Okay, so let's get down to how to identify these top performing pages. Okay, don't forget, you click here to get to the particular websites or accounts you're working on. These are some of the accounts I'm working on, and this is the one we want to use for now. Right? And we're going to, don't forget, home, report, explore, advertising. We are on reports, okay? And we're going to, let me scroll down here, engagements, okay? Engagements. And we're interested in pages and screens. Pages and screens, all our pages, okay? You can click on the engagement overview just to see a breakdown of engagements, and this is how the users are actually engaging on our pages and our screens. And you can see a short overview or like a summary on the engagement overview, have the average engagement time per user, okay? Average engagement time per user will show here for this report is 27 seconds. Okay, engaged session per active user. You can see 0.73. I'll be explaining some of those later. I'm just showing you the engagement overview. Okay, you can see events count by name, views, event count by event name, views by page titles and screens, which is where we're interested in at the moment. Okay, so I'm just going to go to pages and screens. You can also go from here to your pages and screens, view pages and screens. You can go from here, or you can also click here for the pages and screens. Right? So you can see a graphical show of what we're about to check, and we can also see like a chart there. So now let's go to the breakdown of the pages and screens. Let's go to the breakdown of the pages and screens. So let's look at the screen. We have pages and screens, page paths, and screen class. And I want you to take a good look at the different metrics here. We have views, active users, views per active user, average engagement time, active user, bounce rates, event count, key events. Okay, now this is a new website, so you may not see so much traffic, but for the sake of our lesson, this is where some of our students have been writing their blog posts, so you may just have an interesting view of your blog posts. You could see it there. So let's go out. I want to explain each of these metrics, and let's go back to literature review. For each of these metrics, we have views, which is the total number of times a specific page was viewed during the specified time frame. And you already saw the time frame we're working on is October 28, 2024 to January 10, 2025. So the views is the total number of times that a specific page was viewed during that time, okay? So this is a time frame, and then there's the view. So this is the particular number of times that that page, okay, number of page views on the website and screens on the app. So we can see it here. So the home page, 195 times in that time frame. The blog, 63 times. This particular blog post, 62 times. This one, fashion styles to elevate your wardrobe, 7 times. 10 stunning African Ankara print, 55 times. And that's how you're going to know, okay, how many times. So note this is the views, the total number of times that the page was viewed. All right, now the active users, excuse me, let's go back. I want you to really understand what we are doing here. So the active users is the number of unique users who interacted with the page. Unique users is how many interacted with this particular page, okay? Then you will see that already, the active users that actually interacted with this page, or just users. You can, even once you put your mouse, it will explain to you, okay? It's an approximate. You may see differences. So the total number of the active users, okay, that actually, you know, engage with this page is 88, all right? Now, you can see this one is 22, this one is 36, this one is 39, and then 36, and so on. Then views per active user. How many times did this one particular user actually view this page? So for this one, it is 2 times, okay, just like an approximate, that one active user viewed this page, right? Then average engagement time per active user. So for each of the users that viewed this page, how long did they stay on the page? And it says they stayed there 28 seconds. The blog, excuse me, the blog, actually they was on the blog for like 1 minute, 10 seconds, okay? And then we now go to the bounce rates. The bounce rate for the blog is 17%, okay? Now, let's go back to our literature. I want you to understand each of these, okay? So the views per active user is the average number of times a single active user views the page. Then the average engagement time is the average amount of time that users spent on the page, okay? So the number of unique users who interacted with the page is the active users. And then the views is the total number of times that a specific page was viewed. So I hope you understand this breakdown. All right. Now the bounce rate is the percentage of users who left the page without interacting with it any further. They just came into the page and they left. We'll see more about that. Event count is the number of events triggered on the page, maybe the clicks, or maybe you had a form to submit. It will actually count. Now, the bounce rate is a very interesting metric to note in our SEO because it's going to help us to know if users are finding value with our blog posts, our pages, and all that we may have on our website. Okay, so let's look at a little brief on the bounce rate. So the yardstick for a good bounce rate depends on the type of website or content, and it can vary significantly. And we have some guidelines here. Okay, it says that if you have like a blog or a news website or a content website, a bounce rate of about 60 to 70 is typical because visitors just come in for specific content, and after they read it, they leave. So it may not be alarming to have a bounce rate of between 60 to 70% if you have like a blog or a news article, okay? Okay, so below 50% is excellent and indicates high engagement. Now, if you have an e-commerce website like Jumia and all of those, then 20 to 45% is good for a bounce rate because users are likely to browse multiple pages and products. You have a landing page. 70 to 90% can be normal if the goal is to deliver the information or just to direct users to an external link. So that means people may not stay so long on a landing page, okay? Then if you have a service-based website or portfolio, then maybe like plumbing or some of those services, then the 40 to 60% is standard, as visitors may be looking for details of contact information. So this is just a brief, okay, of how to understand what a bounce rate is. So what are the factors affecting bounce rates? Okay, a high bounce rate will indicate poor user experience. That means people don't even know what the website is about. Maybe it's a little bit confusing. So immediately they come in, they just leave. Or it may be irrelevant content. What they thought they were looking for is not what they found. And so that can affect bounce rate. Or a slow page load time. So if the page is not loading well, then it can also affect the bounce rate. So you may have a good site, good content, but if the page is not loading well, then people leave almost immediately. So a low bounce rate often shows that users are exploring further. Okay, but artificially low bounce rate could result from event tracking. All right, so you can this is just for you to have an idea, okay, of what a bounce rate is. So we'll go back to our page before we come back again. So now you understand all of this that we're looking at. So what this is, this column or segment shows you the page or the blog post, okay, that we are measuring against all of these metrics. So like I said, you can check on your individual blog articles. Okay, this is one of our students' websites that we paste, that they publish on, all right? So you can just look, this on the left-hand side shows you the blog post article, and all of this shows you the metrics, okay? And views, okay, the number of page views on the website, how many views, okay? Then that breaks it down to the active users per content, okay? So all of this helps us to know which pages are being viewed, have very high views. Don't forget, we are looking at the top performing pages on this exercise. So on this particular site, these are the top performing pages. Okay, you can see up until now. If you have a look at this, you have 10 rows per page. So that means we still have like 28 more articles. So if you click this, it will run the like 11 to 20 articles. So you can see that it is listed out starting with the high performing pages. So you can still see all of the different blog articles that the students have written. Okay, like I said, it's a new site and we still have a lot of work to do, but we are using this as a case study for our training. And then if you click here, you still see other blog articles, okay, which students have written. Let's go back to the first 10 articles, which are the high performing articles for the time frame that we have chosen. Okay, so what do we make of all of this? Let's go back to our literature so that you have an understanding. So these are the guidelines for interpreting the metrics from these pages. So you have a high engagement, a high view, and a low bounce rate. What does that mean? Take note of that, a high engagement, high views, and low bounce rate. Let's go back and check. High engagement, this is the average engagement. Let's see where we have a high engagement. Okay, the blog has a high average engagement time per active user as 1 minute, 10 seconds. Okay, so we have high engagement, then we have high views. Now, this has a high view, but a low engagement rate. So we want to look at a scenario of a high engagement, high view, and a low bounce rate. Don't forget. So we come back here. So this has a high view, it has a high engagement rate, and yes, it has a low bounce rate. Okay, so this, what does this imply to us? Let's go back to our literature review. So what this means is that the content resonates with your audience. And don't forget, this is our blog. This is the blog for the site shalomoshoba.com. So we have an interesting review. It says the blog resonates with our audience. Visitors are spending time and interacting with the page or with the segment. Okay, so this is encouraging for now. What do we now do with this information? So let's say it's a page, then you have this, but now it's giving us a view of the blog. What do we do? So we need to promote this content. We need to promote our blog on this website. And how do we go about that? We share it across social media, newsletters, and link to it internally from other pages. What else do? We repurpose it. What does that mean? We can turn the blog into a video. That means we can take some of those articles and turn them into videos, infographic, or social media carousel. Okay, we can also optimize for conversions. What does that mean? We had CTAs, sign up, learn more, explore related posts to drive further action. So if you are on a job and they ask you to give a report, okay, Google Analytics report, what does that mean? We have this high engagement, high view, and low bounce rate. What do you advise that we do? So this is what we are trying to achieve. I hope you are getting it now. So you are managing a blog, for example, and a particular page. Don't forget, Apart from the blog, the main blog, it's now still broken down. We now have different articles under the blog again. Okay, different articles under the blog again. So each of these articles also has measurements. So we can now take a look and find again, like what we were looking at here, average engagements, high engagements. We still have some articles here. You can see, yes, this has a very high engagement rate. Top 5 top modeling agencies in the world. Very high engagement rate, 2 minutes, 55 seconds. And then it also has a good view, although not as high as the blog itself, but it has a good view of 21, okay, and a low bounce rate of 13.33, okay. The same for this Ankara Styles for Women, also has a good engagement rate, 1 minute, even though it's lower than this one. This 10 stunning African Ankara print also has 1 minute view, which is good enough, but it has a higher bounce rate, okay? But many views. So all of these still is good. Even these female top models, they have this very good bounce rates, not too high, good engagement, and relatively good views. All right? Now, let's go back and see what other things we could look at, what other metrics. So this is the good combination, high engagement rate, high views, low bounce rate, and you know what to do with this top performing page, even to get better SEO results for the website and for your organization. The next is maybe a high view, low engagement, and a very high bounce rate. Wow. So let's see what that means. A high view, low engagement, and high bounce rate. High view, low engagement, high bounce rates. So we have the high view for the entire site, okay, high bounce rate, low engagement. So this is a good example of using content strategy to improve the entire website, okay? Like I said, it's a very new site, and it was not meant to be for training purposes. It was just a portfolio website that was built for this purpose. So I just decided to use this for our students, and it's a good learning curve. So if you have that, what do we do? Let's assume that now this website, I want to decide that it's no longer a student portfolio. We want to now beef it up for a real modeling site, because this website is a student portfolio that I decided to use for the States, for our students' use, okay? So now let's assume you have this as a case for the website that you are told to work on, or you are working on as an SEO content writer. It's a good thing that our blog is doing well, because that's what you're interested in. But let's assume the blog itself has this case scenario. What do you do? It has a high view. It has a low engagement. It has a high bounce rate. What do you do? So what it means is that the content is getting traffic, okay? But it might not meet user expectation or lack engaging elements, which is what I told us, that the site itself was just supposed to be a student portfolio. So there is a high chance that it is not meeting the user expectation, because it was not meant So anything else but for a student portfolio, or probably it lacks engaging elements. So let's assume you have this problem at your workplace or at your internship or what have you. What do you now do? So it says that you revisit the content. You ensure that it matches the keywords that it is ranking for and it fulfills user intent. By now, you understand user intent, okay? And then you understand keywords. So it says we should ensure that this site matches the keyword it is ranking for. So there are keywords that is ranking for, but it is not meeting what the users are looking for. And so we need to work on that if we eventually want to upgrade this site away from a student portfolio. Okay, and then it's not meeting the user's intention. What else can we do? So revisit the content to meet it. What else can we do? We add engaging elements like videos, images, interacting sessions to improve the time that people will like to spend on the page. What else can we do? We improve the call to actions, make clear next steps for users, such as related posts or downloadable content. All right, I hope you're having an idea of what this exercise is with on understanding the high performing pages. So let's say the scenario here now is low views, low engagement, and a high bounce rate. Let's try to find a content like that. Low views, low engagement, high bounce rate. Let's have a look at low views. We have to go down the page now. Low views, low engagement, and a high bounce rate. I'm sure we'll find that on the second page. Low views, low engagement, a high bounce rate. Let's check our second page. Low views, low engagement, and a high bounce rate. Okay. Right. Okay. I'm just trying to look for one that will really, really match what we're trying to find. There. Low views, low engagement, and a high bounce rate. All right. We have this. We have this. Says the contacts page. Okay, this has a low view, low engagement, and a high bounce rate. This one too. Okay, anyway. So what happens with that? Let's go back, check. What does that mean? It means that the content is not being discovered at all, has low traffic, and it fails to capture attention when it is eventually found. So what do we do? Let's assume you have a site like that to work on in your workplace or in your own personal work. What do? It says update and optimize. Refresh the content with better keywords, updated information, and a compelling headline. Refresh the content with better keywords, updated information, and a compelling headline. Focus on SEO. Add relevant internal links, optimize the metadata, and ensure the page is indexed correctly. Now, we're not going to be talking about indexing in this one. That will be an advanced Google Analytics. This is no more the basics, so we don't confuse ourselves. But you need to know, especially if you're going to be building websites, then you'll be talking about indexing the pages, okay? All right. Now, promote the page as well. Share on social platforms or include in newsletters to boost visibility. So there are many other scenarios. High view, moderate engagement, moderate bounce rates. Then We already know the page is performing decently, but has room for improvement in engagement. What do? You analyze user flow, look at where users go after this page, and add links to CTAs to guide them further. Now, you may not be able to know user flow except to use some other tools. There are some other tools that helps you to see what users are clicking on as they go on your page. It will come out to you like a video. Okay, there is a tool like that. I've forgotten that, but now you actually do a capturing of what your users are doing as soon as they land on your page. Okay, and then you add value, you include frequently asked questions, downloadable resources, or related content section to improve engagement. All right, so we have several other case scenarios like high engagement and low views. And what this means is that visitors who land on the page love it, but it's not getting enough traffic for people to actually come in and check it. Okay, so high engagement, low views. Let's see if there's anyone like that. High engagement, low views. High engagement and low views. All right, look at this, for example. The model for clothing brands has very good high engagement rates, but low views. Okay, low views. So let's go back and see what to do with such pages. It says visitors actually love it when they land there, but it's not getting enough traffic. So what do we do with such pages? We boost visibility. We re-optimize the page for SEO. Okay, we focus on better keywords and internal linking, and we also promote it, feature it prominently on your website's homepage or blog section, and share it externally. So you see the importance of promoting your posts now. It's not just to write them, but you have to also promote them. Okay, when you have a high bounce rate and a short average engagement time, what this means is that users leave quickly because the page doesn't meet the expectations or loads poorly. I believe you understand this now, high bounce rate, short average engagement time. So what do? Check your page speed. Ensure that the page loads quickly on all devices, whether it be small, whether it be on the mobile or on the desktop. Refine the content, align the content with the search intent of the target keywords. By now, I'm sure you are putting all of this together. When you see is a keyword, what is the search intent? Because that means when people come in, we'll talk about impressions when we're talking about Google Search Console. Impressions is how many people see your page when people are searching on Google. When they see the page and they come in, then they are disappointed because the search intent does not meet what they see. So align your content with the search intent of the target keywords and then make navigation easy. Add visible links or call to actions to keep users engaged. All right, high views, low bounce rates, low engagement time. Visitors stay on the page or maybe skimming the content without engaging deeply. Do you see that now? So that's what it means when there are high views, low bounce rate, but they don't stay there too long, low engagement time. So that means they're just skimming, they're not really reading. Okay, what do we do then? So we format the content better. We use headings, bullet points, and visuals to make the content scannable. Okay, because people do not really spend time to read line by line. So if you don't have your content well structured, you lose such readers. So when you have headings, you use bullet points and visuals. People can easily check through the bullet points, check through your headings, see your pictures, and catch a view of what you are talking about. Embed multimedia, add videos, audios, quizzes, so that people can interact. to increase their interaction on your page. And I think this is the last one: low bounce rates, high views, but low conversions. So users are engaged, but not taking the desired action. Maybe you want them to sign up, you want them to buy something. So they are engaging, but they are not buying. All right. So this is low bounce rate, high views, and low conversions. So what does that imply? That means that we need to optimize our call to actions. Make your call to actions clear, actionable, and prominent. Buy now. You let it be so easily seen and easily, what people can easily click on and get them to the pages to buy. Because if they click, for example, and maybe the buy now is not taking them to the page to buy, they lose interest and you lose that conversion. So simplify your conversions, reduce form fields, or streamline the user journey for better results. Okay, don't let it be a long thing that they'll fill before they finally buy. Let it be easy for them to buy so you don't lose those leads that should turn to conversions. Okay, so all this we've talked about, I also put it in a tabular guideline so that you can just easily look at it and know what to do when you get on your jobs or on your own website, what to do with each of these categories that we talked about. Okay, you can request for this document. I will try to see how to make it available. Okay, or maybe just I'll drop this particular table in our group, okay, in our student groups. All right, so to use Google Analytics effectively, you need to set goals. Define what you want to track. Is it sales? Is it traffic? Is it engagement? Set your goals so that per time, and we always say that SEO is not magic. You have to give it time. So once you are starting off, maybe on your job or on a project, first of all, take this analytics, take a screenshot or note them, and then set goals, maybe 3 months, 6 months, and then you come back maybe monthly to check the analytics and see how your pages are doing. So you analyze traffic sources, focus on the channels bringing in the most valuable users. We talked about that in the part 1. Monitor the key metrics. Regularly check your active users, engagement, and retention. Then optimize your content. Use data from the top performing pages that we saw earlier and key events to improve user experience. Leverage on your insights. Adjust your marketing strategies based on the audience and location data. Okay, so when you get used to checking your Google Analytics, then you can leverage on the insight that it is giving you. And then this is how we tweak our SEO strategy from month to month, or from 3 months, 6 months. Once you are able to track this, then you will know what is working and you will know what is not working. I hope that you have been able to catch a glimpse of how to use our top performing pages, tweak your SEO strategy to know what is working and what is not working. All right, so our next class is going to be on the Google console, the Google Search Console. I hope that this class has been able to help you. Thank you very much, and see you in the next one. Once again, this is your instructor, Kehinde Oyeronke Oshoba for Toda Digital Academy.